Hello, in this video we're looking at a Sage after you've completed the base game and kind of where you go and how you could or might play after that. Um, so three different directions you can start with. First is we need anima crystals in order to unlock missions eventually. And by default, when you go to Chaos difficulty, Chaos Shrine is the only mission that you can do. Uh, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Without the DLC, that's the only mission you can do. With the DLC, you have an extra one called the Ancient Chaos Shrine. And one of the benefits of the Ancient Chaos Shrine is you cannot lose this first mission, and you get 100 anima crystals, not shards, crystals, after you complete it. And that can really help jumpstart your ability to catch up. Another thing that you can do is, other than clearing the first Chaos Shrine mission, because that's what the developers intended for players to do originally, we can go down to Story Casual difficulty and clear out Ebon Memories the Warrior, or we can do Ebon Memories the Soul Seeker. This one's a little bit rougher, and that way we can get anima crystals from clearing some of the elites during this mission. And then the hope is that you have enough anima crystals to go and unlock your limit releases. Where, when I say limit release, it's, let's just kind of look at Terra Tutorial for a moment. A limit release is a job level increase. So instead of your job level cap being, instead of it being 30, it could go even higher. And I'm pressing R3 or the right thumbstick downward in order to get to these master points that become available once you get to level 30. And as you increase your level cap and keep increasing your level, you get even more master points you can spend. Now for Sage, we're going to invest in intellect so that we do even more magic damage, or elemental damage, magic damage, non-elemental damage like Ultima. They're all influenced by intellect. And once you cannot spend any more in intellect, that's where you go and start looking at your percentage-based damage dealt, like ability damage dealt. Or if I'm always at max HP or I'm dead, it's either between the two that I get to take advantage of damage dealt at max HP. Down the line, we might even use some of the ones further below. But for now, I only have 5 master points. I'm going to spend that in intellect. Next, I am going to use the ninja job defensively. Let's just spend all of our little points here. So on the ninja, I am going to use my soul bursts to try to finish off the enemy if I have the opportunity. And because of that, I want more max MP. So increase MP limit boost rate in category 4, and eventually things like soul burst MP recovery for category 3. And at some point, I am going to try to use Chaosbringer. I'm going to use Chaosbringer to try to defeat enemies. And that's where our Lightbringer duration is going to come in so that we have an even longer Chaosbringer. Now, I guess first things kind of first, we have our gear. And you want to make sure, not first thing, this is not the first thing. Item level up until about like 200 or so increases your attack stat. So see how much, like, oh, I have a 196 attack and I get 270 from the higher the gun. But that's not true past like item level 300. You stop getting more attack, magic attack, defenses, and at that point the game really does expect you to get your stats or to increase those values some other way. And uh, that's where the Smithy comes in, where you can change the special effect and try to upgrade it that way. Or you can or level up and increase your master points and do it that way. But One thing I do recommend strongly if you're doing this without extra mode is getting your limit releases. So Sage, for example, I want to do Terra Tutora, Suffering of Fools, so that I get that limit release. It costed a few crystals to actually unlock it. And then I also end up will have to do Ruins of Machina, where I unlock the some of these missions where it's going to cost. How much is that? Okay, well, apparently I've already unlocked it at some point. I just instinctively went click and unlocked it. So, but it would cost some crystals. Let's just use some other mission as an example. So that probably would cost like 7 or so crystals to actually unlock that, which is about a mission's worth. Now, I'm not going to set this too high because I don't have the stats to support something that high. Now, when I start this mission up, and we're going to go in and I am severely under the item level, but here's the bonus here. Because I'm not as interested in break damage, I mean, I am in the long term, but right now, I have so much intellect from just equipping crap that, like looking at the side on the right side, I looked for when intellect would go up and then equipped it. This would be good if I actually had a gun. I'm not using the higher level one on purpose, just because you won't have this just yet. Uh, but I have just 80 intellect, which is really high at this point in the game. Um, Another thing I have is I have Seal of Blood, so that if I defeat the enemy with HP damage, that they'll soul burst, and then I'll still get my max MP increase. So this first part is going to be a little rough because um, we don't have the gear to make this a lot easier on us. So this is a I'm surprised. It's kind of a let's play also. But before we look at this first enemy, defensively, we have our ninja, where if you're holding the job action on the right side, we have Utsemi, which lets you avoid 3 hits. At the bottom left corner there, how it says the 3, uh, this enemy could hit us, and we will not die. The drawback is if you do a guard or a soul shield and it hits you, you'll lose a stack anyway, even if you don't take damage. But we're going to try to defeat this enemy, and we're going to make his life a little uncomfortable. Let's do Thunder. And then we're going to see if we can get enough. We barely cannot get enough here. I was hoping to soul burst him, but maybe we'll try it this way. Ignore that sound. I messed up again. We're doing okay. Let's look for our gear. Oh, those guys, those jerks are going to come back at some point. We're going to make... Oh, shoot, I forgot about him. What do I do here? Seal of Blood. Let's get his HP low enough that we can finish him with the next big hit. So we soul bursted him, got some max HP, MP, whatever it is I'm trying to say. We are leaning into the gun, DLC weapon. Let's do Seal of Blood. Soul Burst based on HP damage because our gear is a little too low. And we don't check our gear until we get to the save point. Now this next part, We're gonna try a Chaosbringer. You're gonna see how this gets. Is it still alive? Oh, I forgot to pick up the gear. Am I wearing pants? And we're gonna run by these because laser pointers and all this sorts of good fun stuff. Jack, do it! No! So, bit of a longer mission. Um, Without all my powers. Get in the elevator! Oh no! Sophia, no! Ash, no! So, that just happened, and Jack is alone. He's going down into the basement of Machina, of ancient. Whoa! How'd they get? Okay, I know how they get there. They have magic. Anywho, we reapply our Utsemi to get our hits in. We turn on the little power switch, and then for the most part, we hug the right wall until we get up the ladder and get to the place. Um, except that we do have to fight some enemies here, so let's try to group them up if we can. That was kind of scary. Seal of Blood. So we only got a little bit of... They're completely out of range. Whoops. Let's get that teleport in here. And if your teleport duration gets a little too low, get ready to refresh it. But let's also go for a kill. Oh, you dodged it. You are so good. I forgot to actually equip the new gear. Seal of Blood. Let's do this. Now, ideally, I would like to have done that with the, what's the name called? The ninja. As little as that is, let's try to go for it. Yeah, hugging the right wall, more or less. I really thought I could drop down there. Let's do a Seal of Blood early, because these jerks might not give us a chance. Another Seal of Blood. Who? That was kind of scary. Let's get Ninja Utsemi refreshed. Another Seal of Blood. Ooh. Sorry, this is... I know it's kind of slow. Can we do this? Darn. He might die before... Yeah, before anything comes in. So, we are still... like, item level is still dangerously low, which is why we're trying to avoid soul shielding or breaking them, because we just don't have the item level. Sorry, I'm just looking at Sophia and how she's just kind of looking at the ceiling up above. So this next part, things get a little rough. Teleport for safety. And, oh! I got hit there, so that would have been the end of it. Crap. Let's get further away. Refresh teleport. Whoops. Don't want to push the elevator button. Shoot him in the bolts. Who else is left? Watch out for Quagga. Ooh. Watch out for that jerk. Teleport, get back up. Allies are slowly dying. Heavy trooper's really scary here. Get that semi back up. That would have been our death. Let's get our allies back up. Get the semi back up. This heavy trooper is just really dangerous. Would it help if I actually equipped stuff ahead of time? Alright, so we got some breathing room here. And now we're going to take it out on this last one. And we have a save point coming up after this anyway, so... I wish they would help. Sorry this is taking so long. Oh. What can we do? Here? Am I even recording? Am I even in danger right now? Okay. So next time we're going to, at the cubes, make sure that we equip whatever dropped, preferably with enough intellect, but more so that we can actually break them with regular casts. So let's look at what dropped. Hopefully a higher level gun, so a lot more magic attack. Uh, intellect. Oh, we have artifacts, so this is good. Uh, and I'm mostly looking at just the intellect at the top there, while it's a higher item level. So uh, in this case, something that won't hurt me too much. Um, yeah, I don't think we have anything too good here. So uh, we, for now, just to avoid the penalty, let's go with, uh, yeah, well, let's go with something higher. Then this one, boom, we have something that gives us intellect and it's a higher item level. And then here I don't see anything that's intellect, so we lost some intellect here, and that sucks. But we also are now high enough that we're going to probably break the enemy. Sorry, which is good, which is really good. And now we have this laser cannon of doom. So we're going to teleport and just go like, woo doo doo doo. Oh shoot, we died. Oh, yeah, like, oh, this sage, he had this amazing idea. He just died. Don't listen to this sage. Okay, so I'm still very stubborn about this. Oh, what the? Let's get some. And then we get ready. Sorry, I couldn't really talk there. I was getting my butt kicked. Oh, that's what I forgot. Utsemi. And we fight for our life. But we're doing a little bit better. Oh, great. Let's get rid of one less enemy. And now we're actually breaking them. Okay. I'm sorry, Sophia. Oh, gosh. The Wraiths have a lot of, oh, shoot, they just soul burst them themselves. They have a lot of, spirit or intellect or something like that, because they shrug off magic pretty well. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It takes a little longer. But we got the smarts. So I showed you roughly how like the regular fights might go. I say you, but whoever's watching this video, how the regular fights might go with what's the word here? we're going to save in case we really screw up. But now we actually are going to use, what's the word called? We're going to try out Chaosbringer for bosses. And we're going to go Super Glass Cannon here. We're going to use Summon Tachi because I don't have Bravery. Otherwise, Bravery is just better in every way. Because you don't get hurt. You don't get the extra damage taken. But because we're using Utsemi, that won't matter as much. And we're going to go in here. And we're going to buff up with Chaosbringer. And then get all our buffs up. And then we're just casting. Like, it's not even the good cast. We're just doing a Thundara, whatever. Thundara! And so this is how we, more or less how you take out the bosses. And so you kind of got to see me gear up and do this. And this is just, Chaosbringer doesn't cost any extra. I'm sorry, it turns your MP costs down to 0. So you get to spam things like that. Pardon me. And now we have the limit releases, and I probably should have made a backup save in case I wanted to explain this again, but now we have our Sage. It can go up to 80, and that's great because we can invest even more intellect and push that even higher. Now, sort of the heads up here is don't spend your anima crystals until you've unlocked that next mission. Your shards, that's fine. Shards, you're not going to be using them for anything else other than leveling. Otherwise, they're just going to sit there. But the anima shards, you want to make sure that you have like the next mission unlocked. So let's just, for giggles, let's say I unlocked the 300 version. And then you can go and start spending them on your job. But you don't need, like, maybe don't spend too many, because you don't necessarily need all of them in order to get too destructive. Now, wait, I only want up to 80, 160%. So that's something that we can do. And because I was using the gun earlier, I am going to do the MP recovery rate on normal attacks. And then I would do the same thing and end up clearing mission level 195. I probably could do like 275 at this point and try to get some better gear along the way. I'm sorry, I keep saying better gear. Higher item level. And then, at some point, I go up to Bahamut's difficulty, and I would try to get the limit releases again. Although I wouldn't like jump straight to the 371. That's going to be pretty harsh. As well as like trying to get the Terra Tutora ones and try to get my limit release up to ideally 200. But another thing that we can do is we do have, oh gosh, what the heck was I thinking? We do have, what's the word called here? I'm drawing a blank. Oh, the Dragon Exchange Shop. These relics here, they're kind of a time trap. They're there, and it's nice that you can see in advance what you want, if it's there. But you do not have to get these. You can actually make do with what you got, or what you get, and use the Smithy to upgrade those. But here, I would recommend getting your... Wait, what? Okay, I have 71 dragon treasures, and I can just buy 2 of them, and I don't lose any dragon treasures. Okay, that's a bug. Whatever. You saw it happen. It's on Pardon me. It's on stream now. It's not a stream. Here we're going to actually take points out because we want even more intellect because that is actually way more important. Um, and now we have enough intellect to handle a decent amount of content. Now we're going to go into a boss fight and regret it. Uh, so let's do this together. Let's go and do the 300 version. And uh, I don't actually recommend. Sorry. So let's say that you plan on using Ninja's Utsemi. Feel free to turn on the max HP, the break gauge recovery trial, and even the soul shield cost trial. We're gonna leave the potions. That one we're gonna turn that down just because we want potions to be able to revive our allies who are going to be distractions. Absolutely avoid negate all armor effects and really avoid enemy stats. This looks like how hard this is this is really harsh on the player. And then try to avoid the enemy gradual HP thing, and even though if you don't use buffs, still avoid enemy attack depletes buffs. That is very painful. There are people, endgame players, who have uninstalled the game thanks to this one Dragon Trial alone. That is how painful it starts to get for a lot of builds, or a lot of playstyles. But we're going to try to do this in a little bit of a stair-step thing. I'm going to see how well Sage does against the 300 Tiamat, and I'm going to regret this, not trying this out first. But let's say that we're going in, and am I going to Chaosbringer? Let's Chaosbringer the first phase and see how well that works. So we ran out of stuff, and at this point we need to go in for the soul shield. Uh, but I'm too stubborn to die without a fight. Wow, that was a lot of break. So this is a bad idea. And now I'm just scared. But like I said, too stubborn, too stubborn to die. So oops, I don't actually have. Crap. Sorry. As you can tell, I'm using more brain power. But are you, Ben? Are you? Okay, yeah. Just one more good cast. Okay, let's get the allies up. Let's shoot her body. So that we start with a little bit of an edge. This time I actually am going to Chaosbringer. Um, so we have a Utsemi. And we're just going to go nuts. You try to regenerate, and I'm going to break your heads. So, what have we learned here? Don't actually try this um, just yet. It's not yet powerful enough to take down a higher level version right off out of the gate without uh, trying to scavenge or salvage the situation. uh, but as a side effect of that, we do have we got some uh, a few more stuff for limit release type crap, so we can build up Ninja a little bit more, and our Ninja gets to live. We also have better weapons. Well, not everything's a higher level. Uh, oh boy. Oh boy! Uh, and then, what do we got here? So we have a mix of things that are somewhat nice. Uh, so just kind of the heads up. Let's say that you are trying to get gear. Someone on the Discord's been saying, try to push this the warrior, and I just want to test this out for a moment because we're going to use Firaga. I don't mean to put them on the spot. The recommendation was with extra mode. I am going to remove my allies just so that the enemy has even less HP here. And I'm going to go in. Whoops, fire. And then we take them out for dinner. So very, very good. Uh, now, we abandon the mission, or we just die. Let's just die. And then try it again. But this time we can use the higher level gear and maybe get through them a lot quicker. So this was a very good recommendation. I can't remember who said it actually. Let's see. Did I get anything that will help me with this? No. And then if we want, we can just die. Um, it sounds so like. But let's say that you are looking for a different way to do this. We could end up running through like the stymied, um, or and in this case, I'm just trying to get enough item levels so that I don't have a penalty. Uh, but even more important is that I get to start smithing stuff. So my item level's 351 now. Uh, that's really nice. And let's say that I had What do I have? Once your item level is good, you can start changing the effects of your gear and just focus on things that really help out with. In this case, I'm going to be more of a glass cannon caster. So you are getting to see me try to figure this out on the spot. Oh, wow, break damage. That might not be bad. Um, Figure this out on the fly. Magic break damage, let's leave that alone. Uh, let's do something that helps us all the time. So magic break damage. Sorry, magic damage dealt. That helps us all the time. Curse resistance is bugged. All damage dealt. You know what? Let's keep that there. More intellect. Magic damage dealt. Do. And if we really wanted to push this, we can probably do Soul Burst MP recovery, but we're not. Um, Charge attack doesn't actually impact your spells, so that sucks. But let's try this again. We actually only need like 371 type of gear. We don't need anything higher than that to clear any story content, any of that stuff. Because the second DLC doesn't require any what's the word called? It doesn't require item level. The penalty just goes away. So we got a headpiece this time. And if that puts us our item level up, I think we're missing a headpiece. No, never mind. We're missing boots. So this is a little tricky, but at some point I'm going to get the boots. Bonus if it happens to have affinities that work. Uh, you know what? I'm just gonna let this thing kill me. After whoops. Oh my shoot. Oh, this is the one that doesn't work. So we got a gun this time. Uh, we are gonna die, but let's just look around. Yeah, we got some good stuff here. So, I'm sorry, I say good stuff. It's not very super good. It's just stuff that works. And so now at this point, we do not have to farm gear. We go in and try to, what's the word called? We go and try to make sure that the gear that we do have has our intellect. It has our magic damage delts or ability damage dealt or whatever it is that we're trying to squeeze out of it. If you're not using Chaosbringer, then you don't have to then I'd say invest more on the normal attack. I'm sorry, intellect and the normal attack recovery thing. So we're going to do a mix of both because I like this. Do I? Do I though, Ben? Do I? Who is he talking to? He doesn't know yet. Let's do intellect. Some MP recovery, normal attack, where are you? And then during Lightbringer. So we're going to make the Lightbringer like, we're going to make them suffer during it. Where's our gloves? The gloves are very intellect, magic damage, whatever. So ideally I would go all, oh shoot. Ideally I would filter by Jack. What am I trying to say here? Ben, finish the sentence. Ideally, You know what? I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Sorry. So let's go for a little bit more. Ah, darn. I don't. I got a little too carried away with upgrading that one. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I meant to say. Ideally, it's all break damage or all damage dealt, not a mix of both. I just I don't feel like changing this to be super optimal, even though it would help if I just leaned on one side instead of both, straddling just down the aisle. I don't have enough. Well, we're not coming back to the save, so let's uh let's regret everything. Oh wait, we have. Oh my gosh. So that black mage thing that would have been better um, than what we had, but we're going to lock in just a few things here so that we don't go completely crazy. That intellect, whoopee doo. So let's just go nuts and select everything and dismantle all of it and hope that we had got anything, pardon me, to help us get even more intellect. Because that's how important intellect is. It is that important. How long is this video? My gosh. Oh gosh, it's almost an hour. Dudes. No, anywho. Oh, why did we take the allies out? So it's because they uh, cause the enemy to have more HP and more break gauge. And that is unfortunate for us. Uh, where are these? So this would have like this is giving me one extra intellect even before the other before I add another five. So to me, that's worth the switch. Uh, let's check the warrior piece. Nope, there's nothing here. So I am going to change the effects one more time. Uh, I guess not. Let's pretend like I'm not using any of these after this. So do I still have not enough to actually upgrade changes? Okay, I do. And this is good because this is great. Normal attack, do I have... Nope, that uses the same resource. That sucks. What am I looking for? Oh, here we go. Yep, upgrade that. Alright. And now, I have 130 friggin' intellect. That's very impressive at this point in time. Um, and, let's see here. So, let's go back to Tiamat. Our friend Tiamat. And we're just going to see, just for reference, how... Oh my gosh, come on. How the 300 fight would have went, because you might be challenging enemies or bosses that are mission level 250, 300, 280. Let's throw them back in here because that will simulate apples to apples. We'll do our Utsemi. Ideally, we'd have our teleport, so we're still going to do that, best practice. Try to get some MP. Whoops. Would help if I... That probably hurt, didn't it, Tiamat? Crap. Lost my Utsemi. Oh. Oh, crap, that was a lot of lasers. That was a lot of lasers. I didn't fully charge. Macroburst? So notice her HP is a lot lower than it was when I went after her earlier. I don't know where Ash is. I should check the interface real quick. And we're just going after her now, and this is like, once you get a good Chaosbringer going, they're pretty much done for. Um, Ash, get up! But yeah, I think I hope this like kind of drives the point home of like what you can do, and I'm not going to go like through all the Bahamut conversations because that's, oh, I got the token of strength. Okay, let's just do that. Come on, come on, come on. Do, 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 do. Because it's another quick like 8 intellect or whatever. Um, Now I could talk to them, but this is not the point of the. Oh my gosh, class tree, rat tails, blah blah blah. So after you get that token of courage or whatever, you get 2 extra jobs. I'm sorry, classes. We're gonna try the demon lord, and ideally we would get that rat tail, and be able to just purchase it and uh, get that extra intellect, which we will, because that is how valuable intellect is for the sage. Now, we're going to try one more thing here, and we're going to call it, but here's an example, do or die, of Tiamat on 400 with stuff that we have. Now, level, this is actually intended for job level 150, which we don't have. But we have more than 100 intellect, and we're going to lean on that and hope that that's enough. Now, also, I have to go, let me see. We're going to get rid of our allies. Less HP. And we're going to go in. And unfortunately, I spent a little too much time trying to survive there at the beginning. Oh, shoot. And we died. So, could I potentially do it? Maybe. Now it's personal. Get teleport going. Is this how it's going to keep going until I get... Yeah. Yep. Macro burst. Leap. Whoops. We might actually go for a Chaosbringer. Or we can play it safe. Yeah, we're gonna go a little. Let's go wild, Jed. Take your heads. And then if, yeah. So, rough example, Chaosbringer Sage, Ninja. Um, I did have to play it a little safe there. A heads up, your allies are not going to be able to keep up with you unless you really go out of the way to keep them up. And as a result, they will not serve very well as distractions. The way that you would get them to... oh, I'm sorry, and then... So, sorry, word of advice here. We unlock that next mission, whatever it might be, and then you spend your points, or your anima crystals, or what you would call it, to get your job up. And then we could just kind of go even further with some of this. But kind of the idea here, intellect all the way up first before the other stuff. And I was soul shielding a lot on that job, and I was soul bursting on that job, and I was using Lightbringer on that job. But really, those duties would be offset to other jobs, uh, so that you could focus more on the offense of just this one job. What else was I going to say? Oh, your allies. Your allies, long term, they will end up using Knight on their gear. Knight 400%, so that when you press the direction pad left and right, that they get to survive for like 20 seconds, or however much Lightbringer duration you have stacked up. And that's where your allies go. Um, Sorry, earlier I didn't actually have a level 120 axe and some other crap, but they weren't contributing as much as stuff. But I digress. Here we would end up just even getting more intellect. Uh, like now that you're kind of running around at this level, that you could eventually grab relics. I'm sorry, not relics, not even relics yet. Artifacts that have um, at least one job affinity that you want. Anything that's pretty much level 271 or higher is fine. Uh, it because at that point, ooh, shoot, yes. Um, this would need to be smithed up, but the extra agility would be nice in case I do critical hit. Uh, and some of these job affinities eventually will go and help me out. But for now, it's uh, my whatever my hand was dealt. You kind of saw me just kind of use whatever I got, and kept trying to push it or prioritize intellect and um, that kind of thing. Uh, but still be prepared to soul shield, even with Utsemi, to cover you for MP uh, until you can actually get a teleport going. And then once you have teleport and your gun control gets a lot better than mine, that you could get that MP back in order to go for your casts, or eventually go for the Chaosbringer and just end the fight. Um, but yeah, I hope that helps. There was probably something else I was going to say here. I hope that helps. Dragon Trials, just for one more reference. And yeah, uh, as you progress, maybe we'll have like another version of Sage that goes beyond Chaos and Bahamut difficulty once you get access to the Fuse feature from the second DLC that lets you move job affinities around and even rarer item effects around. So that will help you create a build that you will then go into the end game, well, to the final DLC and onward into the end game with. But yeah, hope that helps. And oh shoot, this is over an hour. Okay, yep. Y'all have a great day or evening or night or whatever.